the stream at the moment, but kind of just wanna draw something real quick for you guys, and then I might try some digital drawing on my iPad later and try to find a way to stream that as well. But yeah, just kind of get some sort of drawing going. Hey, what's up, man? I'm just kind of doing like a little bit of a shorter stream. Not sure how long I'll be able to stream for at the moment, but still want to kind of get a little bit of time in. I have the same amazing brush pen for adding texture to drawings. Yeah, this isn't my favorite brush, but kind of like to play around with it lately. It's still a pretty good brush though for being a brush pen. Do you use any reference? Not when I'm drawing, but like I'll kind of like after I'm done drawing or every once in a while, kind of look at things. Most is just from drawing though. I'm like pretty hands-on kind of learner. Not really sure what this one's gonna be yet, but kind of just coming up with some interesting machine parts. Whenever I try to draw like you or someone like Kim Jong-gi, my drawing ends up looking like a deformed car engine. It's just something that takes time to build. I think a lot of people kind of give up on it before it starts to take shape. If you just kind of keep with it, you'll eventually start maybe being more happy with the outcome of your drawings. Mine used to look the same way though, and instead of kind of like getting down on myself because it didn't look at how I wanted to, just kind of like tried to find a way to make my process fun. And I think that's kind of the most important part is that you're having fun while you're drawing and not worrying too much about like trying to get it perfect or anything. Yeah, one of my methods is to draw one thing that you want to in different perspectives, then color them so you're forced to look at how light works on the object and then see it longer than when you go back to drawing with reference. That makes sense. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, especially if it's a way that you have fun with. Lately, I don't really look at reference too much, like actually looking things up online. Like this week, I looked up like some samurai armor, like horses, and that was pretty much it. And I did that for like 10 minutes, and um, that's kind of like all I need. And a lot of it just takes so much time to like actually make that information like useful for me for drawing. Cause like I'm still like kind of like working in some of the things from like just that those 10 minutes to reference would probably take me like a month to actually like start to work into my drawings. Like this is like a samurai thing that I was kind of like messing around with and going for more of a realistic samurai. This is still from imagination, but like more so using like more realistic features of a samurai and things like that. And same with the horse, but it's like it just takes so long for me to actually use the information from reference. So like I could just like look at a couple photos and I'm probably like it would probably take me like a month to actually like start using those things in my drawings. Yeah, ADHD hits when you're trying to draw like that. 10 minutes. Yeah, I try to make like how I look at reference as like sparing as possible. I think it's really easy for my mind to get like a little um like over overstimulated, I guess is kind of like if there's too much information, it makes it really hard for me to learn. So if I only look at like a few references and then kind of like slowly um incorporate those into my drawings, it's just much simpler instead of like spending hours looking at a bunch of reference. Yeah, I agree. Got to go in like 20 minutes for dinner. Yeah, I'm not sure how long I'll be streaming on this drawing for now, but I might be able to come back later in the day. Just kind of wanted to get something in. Hey, what's good, Bryce? Your videos have gotten me to pick up the brush pen and draw. Really, really, really happy with the results so far, even though I'm a massive noob. That's alright, man. I think I know I like all the different like stages of drawing, like whatever part you're on your path. I think they all have like they're all the same thing basically. It doesn't really matter what skill level you're at. It's still drawing and trying to play around with things. So. But that's cool that you're drawing again. Not sure what this is gonna be yet, but they have very hairy backs. Or some kind of like fur thing going on. Took a second when I refilled my ink brush with new ink for it to come out strong, which meant before then I had a really scratchy look that I loved. But love that variety with brush pens. Reminds me of a character from One Piece called, I don't know why, but he wore a fluffy coat every little bit. Yeah, kind of just mindless drawing right now. I was kind of thinking of doing some sort of like um, more mechanical mech thing today, so even though it hasn't really started off as that, probably start to add that as I go. Yeah, I was gonna add some water, but I think I'll just smudge the ink. Never mind. This ink's not very smudgeable. It's too permanent. It dries way too quick. Your art is cool. Thank you. Hey man, I'm back in with another Sleepless Nights, 4 a.m. here. I don't know how long I'll be able to stream at the at this current moment. Um, but I just want to kind of get something going. Yesterday I was working on putting a book together, like an art collection kind of my drawings. And so I took like around like 400 to 500 drawings, and then I'm gonna start to work on putting that together. Maybe make them into some sort of werewolf kind of thing. Hey, what's up, man? I'm not sure how long I'll be able to stream, but might be like another 20 minutes. I don't know. But I'll probably stream more later. Kind of want to try to find a setup too for streaming from my iPad and do some like digital stuff. I will watch as I figure out how to do my taxes. So seeing your style digitized would be cool. Yeah, I don't really have like a digital art thing really figured out. I'm probably just gonna wing it and do like a more painting kind of thing since I don't know, I kind of do more of a painting thing with ink anyway, so I think that'd probably suit suit me a bit more than um doing a line art kind of thing. I haven't drawn a werewolf in years. I don't know why though. I used to not like drawing larger characters, but lately I've kind of been liking it to push the perspective more, and then also kind of just liked rendering out different features, kind of exploring different characters from a lot closer of a view. Well, it's starting to go somewhere. I don't know where it's going, but sometimes where I kind of, when I don't know the placement, I'll kind of just go for it and make a wild guess. Will you be back on later? Yeah, I'll probably be back on later today. Or if I figure out how to stream from my iPad, then I'll probably be back like this soon after this stream ends. like making the hair kind of as wild as I can. Sorry if I look like a fool, but what's this amazing piece of inking at its finest for? What do you Mm, what do you mean by that? Like what this piece is for? Just kind of like doodling, really. I think I have the exact same brush. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I used to not like the permanent ink, like the gray cartridges on the back, since the I usually like the water-based ink, so that I can like mix some water on it and then get shading. But I just using Sumi ink to get the gray tones, so it's not too big of a deal. I like this brush for being a little bit messy and kind of just like playing around with the chaos of the black. How'd you get the halftones? I have Sumi, like Chinese ink with like diluted water in a cup on the side, and then I just dip a brush and add it that way. Is it distilled water? Yeah, I've been using distilled water since the with Sumi ink. If you use regular water, or like I guess with most inks, the pieces of the ink and the minerals in the water don't, and it kind of dry out. But I've had just like I don't know, distilled water with ink lasts for a long time. And gave him almost like Pikachu ears. I like how the pen is nice and long, so the field gauge has a lot of ink. Yeah, the uh, if you open one of these capsules or the cartridges up, it actually doesn't have that much ink in it as it looks. But yeah, like if you get a refill, it's like a super skinny tube inside that's doesn't hold that much. Um, but more than like probably like a pocket brush does or some other things like that. I always love just putting down a ton of ink and then kind of just like edit it as I go. Later when I have more time, I'll probably come back and add a lot more darker values. If the background is a sea, that'd be super funny. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do some like sort of like mech robot thing since they already have some cyborg werewolf thing going on. Yo, amen. It's gonna be a little bit of for now, but might stream some digital stuff later. It's 4 a.m. at my place. Oh my god. Mm, mm, Do people like just not sleep anymore? Average night owl artist. I mean, I stay up pretty late, but um, that's next level. Taking a break from patrolling the city right now. I'm Batman. Batman watches my stream now. I mean, bro does fast. Uh, hey man. Man, art speed is like flash quick to me. I mean, bro does ink fast and does not even need pencil. I don't really like how graphite feels. Is kind of why I don't use pencil anymore. I don't like eraser shavings and things like that. Is most of the reason. Hey man, what do you think about drawing with music on? Yeah, I listen to music sometimes, so I'm drawing. Nah, it sounds like a ASMR. Down the road, I might get music going on the stream, but I don't know. I usually don't draw with music, so I kind of like, but I could maybe set some up down the road if I don't know. It might be nice for some people to just like also and just kind of listen to their own stuff, and then I don't have to worry about music drowning out my voice. Music and drawing mix like juice and fruit. Techno music it is. Yeah, I actually well, I like um I don't know, like it's like subgenres like darker dark techno, I guess, would be like kind of borderline the genre, and then like I listen to like funk and I don't know, some of like the harder things, especially when I'm drawing. Like it's pretty fun. I can't listen to it for too long though, because I feel like I get burnt out from drawing faster if I have music going. I'm not really sure what this werewolf over here is doing, but almost got like a zombie pose to him. You use thumbnails? Oh, I thought it was a pig. Thumbnails like drawing out things beforehand. No, just kind of all winging it as on the go. I don't really like to know too much about the bee beforehand. Otherwise, I'll get bored and probably not finish it. Do you use other mediums? Mostly just ink, but I sometimes like will add color with alcohol markers. And I haven't done digital art in a long time, but I might try that today later. And I want to stream it if I can find a way. Might have to just get a something on my app or on my iPad to get it running. But I think that could be pretty fun. Have you tried painting? I kind of like to mix like painting with drawing. It's kind of like what I'm doing with the ink is like half painting, half drawing. I think it's kind of cool to blend two because I've always liked both of them, but never really been able to choose one or the other. I maybe like lean towards drawing a little bit more since it's like more line work than just brush strokes. But hey Bryce, I just saw your video on drawing from imagination. Your tips are top notch. Yeah, I try to I don't know. The only way I can kind of um, help in some way is just explain things from like my own experience and hope that helps other people. But it's cool that helps you. What is the GSM of your paper, by the way? I thought it was like 300. Uh, yeah, it says 140 pound, 300 G. How long have you been consistently drawing for? For like the last 3 years, I've pretty much been drawing every day. It's like a main thing that I do in my life now. How do I get the human figure to twist and be more floaty? I mean, I don't know. For me, I would probably just like I'm always trying to like experiment and kind of play around with things. So maybe if you kind of like try twisting, just drawing figures from different angles and kind of like it doesn't even have to be something super fast, but like the more brave you are with it, the faster you're probably gonna improve with it. Do you do this full time? And if not, is that a goal of yours? Yeah, right now I'm doing it full time, but I want to make it like um more full time if that makes sense. With like YouTube and I'm working on getting together like a art collection book and different things like that. So, how'd you master up the fundamentals of art so fine, Bryce? I wouldn't say I mastered the fundamentals, but I don't know. I think there's not really like a mastering to them. It's just like I just kind of like play around with all the fundamentals, and they're kind of like tools to and each of them kind of have different ways you can mess around with it. So I just kind of like am constantly experimenting with different ideas and things, different poses and positions of characters and lights and different things. If you don't mind, can you share advice for making art sustainable financially, being able to live off of it? I don't I don't really have any advice for that part, but I don't know. If you can make it like a process you enjoy, I think like I'd rather be drawing things I like and that sort of thing instead of kind of like um I guess selling myself out to make money. Like I don't know, like I'd rather draw and do it in a way that I want than kind of like going by what's popular right now and then like thinking that that's the way to do it. So I think if you can do it in a way that you like, I think that would work. You get a visual library from drawing things and people, and then you can use it when you draw from imagination. Um, I actually can't really visualize things in my head. Like, I don't know if you've heard of like Amphantasia, but I'm pretty sure I have that. If not, like, like I can't visualize anything in my head. It's just like working everything out on the paper and reacting to different lines and things like that. And yeah, that's kind of just how I draw. I like still can think of like ideas and things, but I can't visualize like a picture in my head. But like the visual library thing, I think that still happens for me, but it's more so like ideas and muscle memory and kind of like seeing what didn't work and what worked. So it's not really a visual library for me, but more of like an idea and concept library, I guess. What's your process for making your faces and adding the what do you mean adding the charm? Process for making faces? I don't know. I start with like j- for like a simple face. Wait, find it open page. For like a simple face, I like starting with the eyebrow since it's like kind of easier to line things up. And then I would usually do the eye and just make it like, and then I'm kind of like matching it up with the angle of the brow and then the eye, and then kind of like always looking how different things are relating to each other. So then like and kind of like carving it out as I'm going. And then kind of seeing like how different things connect, and it kind of helps me like change the character as I go and create like different noses and things like that. Mhm. I'm not really like searching for anything perfect, but most of the time when I'm drawing, I'm just trying to get something different or something that I can kind of mess around with that I maybe haven't done and experiment with it. So like whenever I get a more unique face, that's kind of more of what I'm looking for. And then maybe like do a different hairstyle that I haven't done before. Like add some sort of headband. I think like this playing around sort of element is kind of what keeps me going and learning, and then just doing like a different hair that I haven't done, and then maybe like kind of giving him a slimmer chin, and then yeah, that's kind of what I what I'm doing when I'm doing faces. It's more unconscious, probably. Yeah, it's a lot of intuition and just kind of like experimentation on the page. You have to think of the idea to get the image. Well, even when I think of an idea, I don't really have like an image, but more so like I don't know how to explain it really. Like, I don't really like get much information from the idea either. It's just like a theme. So like if I thought of like I want to draw robots, then it's like everything that I would draw or work on would be like mechanical objects. So then when I go to the page, then it's like now I'm doing um I thought of like a robot, so now I'm doing like mechanical objects, and then everything is pretty much like happening on the page then. But I started off with just the idea of robots. So a lot of times it's like very simple things, or like I'll think of a samurai and then start like going from line to line of kind of like any knowledge that I have of a samurai. You search in the line? Yeah. Yep. What is that advice you would give someone to get good at perspective? I think the most important thing for like perspective that I found from drawing is more so like feeling like the feel of the space and different things. So a theme, yeah, it's mostly just themes is sort of think about for like, sometimes the planning. But like then like this one, like I didn't even know I wanted to do werewolves until like basically like way down the line. Like I already had half the character drawn before I decided it was a wolf, so it's very come up with as I go. But yeah, for perspective, I think the best thing, yeah, you can like really simplify it into like things get larger as they get closer. Like things get larger as they get closer, and then farther as they get farther back, they get smaller. But also, things are like connected and lined up in a way. So like if someone is similar height and things are further back, then like kind of like the vanishing point. But I usually am not thinking then of a grid, but just that if something was further back, it'd be also lower since your camera kind of where you're looking at. So I think for me, for perspective to make sense, it's kind of like how things relate to each other and kind of making things like consistent across the page and using like different characters to line up and make that sort of thing. But once you kind of get a feel for like the space between things, like I could fit a character in here and there's still enough space. So just kind of like playing around with space, I think would probably be what I would do for figuring out perspective. And then kind of like once you play around with it a lot, you would kind of notice like, oh, I can't put it like a character here. I mean, you can. There's not really like any rules to it, but if you want like a more realistic approach with perspective, with how you asked it, that's probably what I'm guessing you're trying to do. Then yeah, and you could just keep like going further and further, and things just keep getting larger as you get closer, and then as they get smaller, further away. But I kind of like this more on the go, and then adapting to each character rather than grids, since like it is often like pretty you have hills and things like that, so it's just much easier to then think of hills and then just kind of, oh, if he's on a hill he'd be higher up, and then a little bit smaller since he's further back, and just kind of like that way of thinking about perspective. Right. Sorry, I was talking to someone. Good night, chat. It's 1 a.m. Good luck. Mhm. Yeah, make sure to get sleep. Um, how do you get midtones on those guys? I got in. Sorry. Yeah, no problem. For midtones, I have like some Chinese simi ink on the side, and it's diluted with distilled water. So, and this is kind of just my water that I would use when I'm doing the drawing with this. And it's just kind of gotten ink over time in it, but I use it to quickly get down some shade and shadow, and then I'll kind of like add more or less water to get different values and things like that. How to draw elements being manipulated? You mean like changing like the shapes and things? Like water? For water, I'm kind of thinking about, so you mean like actual like elements like fire and things? For water, I like to kind of think about like how it moves around. So like um if I had a character here and water was gonna hit his face. And this is kind of the same way that I think about like if I'm doing like blood on a character too, then I think about water as well. So like water is kind of like if it was just splashing out of like a um, cup or something, then a lot of it's like how it would kind of like go off of the character. So I'm kind of thinking of how it would kind of like come off this character, and his face is like more of a rounded object, and water kind of like changes constantly. But I think you can pretty much like do whatever you want and just kind of like draw different pieces flying off and that sort of thing. I don't really draw much water, but whenever I do like blood on like a character or something like that, it's the same kind of like liquid thing. And then kind of thinking about how it would go around the anatomy and like how it would disperse or like drip down and things like that. So yeah, they're pretty similar. Like water being controlled, like some avatar sort of thing. It's kind of the same idea, and then how I would go about doing it is if it's being controlled by like someone's hands, water is like pretty transparent, so you could probably even like do the hands through. And then like I don't know, whatever kind of like force is coming off of the hand could kind of like morph the water around and that sort of thing. So I guess whatever your character is kind of doing with the water, because you could also like uh, have the hands coming more and you could have like the hands coming more outward, and then stretching, stretching the water. So I guess it kind of depends, and then like you could also have if he's talking with the water, kind of like what the water would do. I'm guessing it's gonna take a lot of like playing around to kind of like what sort of effect you want to go for. But if it's like he's controlling it with his hands or things like that, then I think thinking about like the force that's being applied to the water, like if I all of a sudden slice this water in half with a sword or something, then kind of like this force that the sword is applying, and then it's kind of like how would the water then react, and so like right now it's a solid, and then it kind of like is firing up towards the sides. So it's kind of like a lot of action and reaction. But yeah, I hope, hope that helps somewhat. Mm. I have no idea for like the actual like shading of water, other than I think it has like a more inward shadow that doesn't connect on the outside. So yeah, can't really help much with the shading, but I think that's kind of what it is. I see some one similar to jelly. Yeah, yeah, pretty much like all the liquid forms would be pretty similar. All right, I maybe have like 5 to 10 minutes left before I go. What about explosions, like smaller ones or fire ones, like nuclear? Kind of like the same thing, but I mean like a nuclear explosion like would probably have like the like mushroom cloud sort of thing. One thing uh I worked on like a mini comic book with my dad for a while, and one of the scenes a character is exploding, and I think one thing that I found kind of cool when working on that is like kind of I guess this would be like if a character is exploding, but kind of the same thing. Um, so I kind of had like the character almost like reacting to the explosion, like almost trying to hold it down. So it's a lot of like reaction to what's happening, and then kind of like the explosion would probably go outward more, and then you could do something with like negative light and kind of have like the explosion a lot lighter than the other, and then go dark around it. And then like mostly the things you would see in like an explosion besides like the bright light would probably be like some debris. So you could have like different ground effects, like the ground is kind of split in and coming towards the foreground and things like that, and just kind of like chunking off. And it's like different ground effects you could do. Like, the ground is crackling, everything's like that, and like the mushroom cloud from the nuclear explosion. You could have mostly the cloud is the explosion, and then azure light, and then kind of like what it would do to um, buildings and things around it. So like it's so strong that the buildings are starting to kind of crack outward. So yeah, I think kind of the same with the water question you asked. It's for me like I would think about it kind of like the force that it's like applying outward, also what is gonna be fine with this, and what's gonna get like what's the reaction and different things that will happen to these other objects and things. I mean, you could do like smear lines, kind of add more effects and things like that. But yeah, explosion usually is just like a radial, um, like force coming out. What brand of ink do you like to use? Um, I forgot the name of it, but I can show the bottle. Yeah, this is the like Sumi ink that I use. Oh wait, this is actually Japanese ink, I guess, or it says it's made in Japan. But yeah, this is the ink I use. I'm not sure. It's like I think it's like called Midnight or something. But yeah, you could probably find the bottle. Oh shoot, yeah, my sound was off. Well, I've been talking for like the last 5 minutes and none of it was heard. But yeah, the ink, the Sumi ink that I just showed, pretty sure it's on the descriptions of my other videos if you can find it. And yeah, I'm gonna stop streaming for now, and I might stream later. But thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and thank you for all the support. Appreciate it.